Okay, this is Chad Jackson's 372 Lumber Jackson. First runs, being nice and easy, a little bit fat with it. Chain was nice and sharp when I started. Yeah, you seen the old iron horse hit the ground, didn't ya? Zippy-doo. It's part of it. What I was doing, having weird links there. I got some 4-foot pieces. I'm going to split them into little short cants for axe handles. And we're going to build some mountain ash axe handles. I think the way I run the grain, we're going to get a beautiful light and dark together. I think that's going to be really nice. Lumberjacks, it's a pleasure to build this saw for you. But what we're going to do today is concentrate on just some firewood. So probably I'll just go ahead and cut a bunch of firewood. And we might visit a little bit. I think I got a sharper though. I believe. Again, this stuff skidded when it's wet. It's got a lot of grit in the bark. You wouldn't think that'd bother a lot, but you know what? You don't make a lot of cuts, then you're really dull. I mean, it happens quick. But chainsaws don't make freaking good trenching tools. Keep your bar out of the dirt. Well, we obviously have a lot of grit in the bark. See all that old dirt. I decided I just go ahead. I got some logs on the bottom here that are really gritty. I'm going to go ahead and run this saw just this dull a little bit. And that ain't bad dull, but it's dull for logging. You guys know the log. Then we're getting this cleaner stuff, we'll sharpen and kind of go from there. reaching a point there in this log pile, guys. I'll trim up some more on that end. A lot of you are aware, you don't have to be a pro to know that a tall pile of logs, when it gets narrow, can fall down. They're moving them around in here in the pile now. I'm getting where that I'm going to start knocking them down and cutting them up. This saw is actually doing good. We've probably caught a face cord of wood anyways. Let's show them what we got here. What's in the pile? I think it'd be a face cord. That ain't a face cord. That's just a couple sticks shy, or about 8 over, one or the other. I always figured if a saw caught a face cord of firewood in dirty conditions even, that was getting good mileage. And I know I got gas left. I think this one will probably cut, 1.5. I might even be able to cut 2 face cords of wood in this stuff. Now, I'd love to tell you what everybody else does. Oh, my chain ain't quite right. These logs are so hard. Well, guess what? Get over it. My chain was sharp when I started. It's a little dull now. Let me tell you what my dull is. My dull is when the very edge of that tooth gets taken off just slightly. You'll feel it with your finger and it feels sharp. It's still not sharp. Not logging sharp. Good enough for firewood still. And you know something? It's still cutting good right now. Even in that dirty stuff, it's still cutting good. It ain't as fast as it would be logging. I built this saw for Chad, primarily as a softwood saw, being in Georgia. Now knowing that he cuts oak in one thing or the other also. But their oak isn't real bad to cut. It's not. Our oak isn't either. Unless it's dry, then it's harder than the hubs of hell. Guys, I'm going to go get me a cup of coffee, and we're going to continue this video in the shop. There's the iron cat.
Why does it be on video?
He don't care. He likes the noise. What'd you think of that? That's fun, isn't it? Yeah, we cut I know a face cord of wood. I looked at it closer. 10, 12 minutes. I mean, but that's in a log pile. That's not sitting there out there in a treetop somewhere or whatever cutting. So, whatever. When there wood before too long. Got a bunch of saws to run. I was going to run 4 or 5 at a time, but that's not being fair to each saw. I want to run each saw enough. Enough. That's what I want. Enough. Make darn sure everything's good. Chad, I like your saw, man. I really do. You know what? There ain't nothing like seeing a nice, pretty, clean saw on video, but I like them dirty. I like that. 70 class CC saws. Loggers kind of went to them a while, quite a few years ago. They did because timber got smaller in our area. You still see the diehards running 90 plus CC saws, and they'll continue to. We've got guys that run nothing but 66 mags. We got them to run nothing but 395s. You see the occasional guy with a 394, but that's rare anymore. They're just too old now. What you see is MS660s. Do not think an MS660 is the same saw as the original flat top 66 Magnum, because it's not. Let me give you a little history. When Husqvarna came out with the 272 right at the same time Steel came out with the old 044 10 millimeter wrist pen, which they were good saw. They were a very good saw. I tell you, this ain't just my opinion. I can show you anytime I want to. The 044 definitely, when they were stock factory, definitely had a deciding edge on the 272. I know somebody's going to argue it. Well, my brother-in-law, everybody builds a good one now and then. And I liked the 272. In fact, I wanted one real bad, but I bought the 44. For a little while, for about 6, 8 months, we couldn't get a 272 in this area. That's what happens, isn't it? Okay, the old 44 went through several generations before they said, well, screw this, we're going to make it a big bore. So they put a bigger cylinder onto it, and that was the old 46. Not necessarily was that a better saw than the old 44, but I'll tell you, old 44 could not run dull, any. They could not. I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a couple old 44s. Okay, this one's mine. I like the saw. If you notice, it's got the MS 440 gas tank. That's because you can't get the original old 44 gas tank, and I really don't like the aftermarket ones as very well. I mean, if you got the whole saw, just throw it together, be done with it. But you deal with some problems. But these right here, the minute Steel did this, I did not buy a saw. I would not buy another Steel. Would not. Did not. But original flat top, no decomp. So, you remember the cars in the late 60s? Like, if you just happened to get a 69 Camaro with a 427, 68, you had a car. Oh boy. 70 Chevelle, 454. Look what Ford was doing at the time, man. They was building some really crazy stuff. And the one that was hard to beat was all the Chrysler products. You know, that 440 mag, that was no joke, man. Other than the motor was just as white as a Subaru, just from valve cover to valve cover, you know. But when you got into 1973, the gas crisis, a lot of things changed in automobiles. Well, the same thing happened in South when they started going EPA stuff. This 44 mine is before EPA. Well, all of a sudden it was badges, emblems, and stickers. Super Sport, Sport Plus, this and that. And they didn't have pretty emblems. They just used a sticker, slobbered it on there. Steel did the same thing. This is the beginning of the old 44 emission saw. Yep, got it slowed up just a bit for emissions, and they called it a Magnum. What a freaking ridiculous thing. What a notion. Now, Husqvarna didn't like their 272 knowingly being beat by an old 44 Steel. They was not going to put up with that. They wanted the edge. So they did it, and I'll tell you how they did it. They come out with a 371. Boy, they were freaking close. A lot of times, I would beat guys that had the 371s, and the very early XP 372s, the first year or two of them, only because I could out-sharpen them. But if I sharpened their saw for them, it was neck and neck. Now, that was it. Okay, so when you get the same bore stroke, you expect that. 272 was 2mm bigger bore, and I believe it was 2mm shorter stroke. So it didn't have the torque. Now, wouldn't it be fun to stroke one of them 2mm? 272 stroker. You end up with 76, 77 cc then. Wonder what the future is going to bring on this channel. And my buddy, he was out there helping me cut wood. He's a rascal. He really is. So, I will tell you another thing is, that 394, hands down, had the edge on the original Steel 66 Magnum. It seriously did. There wasn't no out-sharpening it. The next guy, he better be real dull or run snaggle-tooth chain or something, just so that you could beat him. But 66 was a little lighter saw. A pound and a half, 2 pounds, something like that. I don't know for sure. I know when you're logging it all the time, you don't feel the weight of it. You don't. The hat. My buddy Odie Horse 1 sent that. This is the company he works for. See that little flag? Little story behind that. That made me feel really good. There is some really good things happening in this world occasionally. Not very much. Because, you know, I don't have to tell you. we had to go to Lowe's. We had a well problem Monday, Colin?
Yep.
Monday. So we had to pull a pump out of the well. Well, you know what that entails. So I went up there muddy and dirty. I figured if I'm going to spend some money, they could just put up with it. It wasn't real bad, but just, you know. But they have handicap parking. Here's the door. Handicap parking is over here. Right in front of the door is veteran parking. Well, you know, I'm liking that. So I pulled right up, got the primo spot, parked there, come out of the store, and there was this little piece of plastic envelope stuffed in the edge of the window. I had Barb's Jeep, by the way. I'm loving driving that, even though it ain't mine. And in it was this nice little flag. And it says, "Thank you for your service," little note did, "from the Daughters of the Revolution. I want to thank you." That, you know, military life is 90% suck. I tell you, you got 10% good times, mostly because of the friends you meet. That's a different type of environment. But it kind of, yeah, there's a lot you deal with that I think is unnecessary, but I understand why. And so when you get old like me, I'm at the age now, I'm over 60 noticeably. I'll be 62 shortly. I can start wearing things on my hat, right? Older I get, I'll just keep putting more things on it. Yep, we will. Put the airborne aerosol and well, there's a lot of things I could put on it. But we'll pick and choose. Let's just see what happens by the time I'm 70. I learned something, guys. I want to see where I'm at. When this last basically 6 weeks, my video time's really been bad. Obviously being sick and little issues with Barb, running me to the doctor. I miss you guys. YouTube gets hectic. You do need a break once in a while. I will promise you that. You will. But we went through the last 2-3 months, several months. Let's just call it a money crisis. No, it's not self-inflicted. It's put on us. But money's been tight. It's been real tight. So, then I've had people ask me to do favors that I just can't do. It's just the way it is. Life's short. You know how to tell who your friends are? Your true friends? They'll tell you they're friends of yours. They'll be your friend when everything's good. When you come right out and tell them, "Nah, man, things are kind of rough right now. I just can't do this one thing right this second. I will as soon as I can." And that's doing a favor. It's like loaning money when you're broke. Yeah, it's kind of like that, ain't it? Well, guess what? I might have lost 2 friends when chips are down for me. So what? I don't care. You know why? Because they sorted themselves out. It's like a deck of cards. Boom, throw the Joker out of the deck. You don't need that. They're not playing with the Jokers today, are we, guys? But I've learned that I need this YouTube thing. It's because if, you know, when all kinds of things hitting you from all kinds of angles, you know what makes me feel good? Being able to read them comments. Seeing what you guys are doing. Getting your emails and showing me you saw as you're doing. Or even nod and saw stuff. You know, hey, I'm working on my tractor. I'm working on my truck. Look what I did here. You know, what do you think of this? I've got people in Australia I talk to a lot. It seems like the Aussies really like to talk too, just like me. You know, I'm down with that. You know, there's a guy in Germany I used to talk to all the time. Remember Kripke? Don't know what happened to him. I have no clue. He was a good egg, real good egg. He had some real serious health problems, and he was going in for some kind of experimental therapy of some sort for his spine, and I never heard another word from him. You know, I was willing to prove I was a friend to him, and did. I already did. And he did me too, because I went through some stuff back then too. But if you got friends you really care about, and you know for a fact that they got problems, sometimes the best thing you can do is be a good listener. That's the best part of being a brilliant, conversationalist is being a good listener, you know? It really is. The only thing that could make YouTube better for me is if at the same time I'm visiting with you, you can actually visit with me. That would be cool. But I read your comments. I read everyone. I rarely answer them anymore. Once in a while, I'll get a few minutes that I will. My morning starts early. I sit there, drink a cup of coffee or two, go out in the greenhouse, water. Yep, got to do that. Pick the little weeds, do that kind of thing. This is my life in my older years. I know I'm not old yet, but you know something? I'm getting stronger again. I really am. This weight loss thing, because of this type 2 diabetes, total change of diet. I'm going to tell you something. One of the best things that helped me was, I love a good salad. I like a chef salad, a little ham, a little turkey, a little cheese, throw an egg in there too. I don't even care. Have the plug out of the kitchen sink in it, as long as I got the right kind of dressing. Here's what I ran into, guys. If you truly want to lose weight, and what's I do? I got a long way to go. Oh man, have I got a long way to go. But I'm halfway there from where I was. Let's put it that way. But I figure about next year, if long as things go to plan, you'll get to see the skinnier me. I was never really skinny, but I didn't have no fat on me either. But through this diabetes thing, I lost some muscle mass and gained some belly fat. Boy, that's a freaking spare tire of death. Salads are so good for you. Like cabbage, like just a plain cabbage soup, little carrots into it, one thing, another. It actually takes more energy to burn that type of food than what it produces. It takes more energy. So you're burning more calories than you're eating until you put your dressing on. Read the labels. Did you know that salad dressings are not meant for diabetics at all, or people who want to lose weight? No. So guess what we did? Started making my own. That was, it's like, well, gee, that ain't very good, but I'm going to just keep trying until I get it right. I've got two that I've learned to make very, very, very good. I make a nice zesty Italian that's really good for weight loss and sugar-free. But my favorite is my Catalina. I make a Catalina dressing that is better than anything I've ever tasted out of a store, period. Even the high-end stuff that I'd never buy in the first place. Now, did you know that when you make your own Italian, zesty Italian, and I make it with olive oil. I know somebody's going to mention that. And you make your own Catalina dressing, the calorie count is stupid low. Same thing with Italian. It is stupid low. But it's way cheaper than per pint than what you buy. It's way cheaper. You sit down and do your math, and it's like, oh, goodness sakes. I can't believe it lines up that good. Apparently, Barb is having another heart issue. So I'm going to keep this short. Hopefully I get this video up today. If not, it'll be tomorrow or the next day. I think I got to take her to the hospital. I think. Of course, don't tell her that. Anybody on WhatsApp, don't mention it. She hears it. She'll be mad that I blabbed. I just want you to know that we're in a train wreck in our life right now of crazy things happening, and that's just one of them. So bear with me. If you don't see me doing videos for just a little bit, I have to take care of my home front first. Always take care of your family and your home front first. And then everything else do second. Okay? I promise you, you'll be way better off. Honey-do list. Don't ever forget that. Don't do it too quick, though. If you guys, boy, if you've got your wife sitting right there, you better freaking run with your phone. Or shut it off till she leaves the room. Don't get your honey-do list done too fast. I'll warn you, they have an endless supply of honeydews. And if they think you're doing too good a job, boy, they're just going to wreck your days. Get half and three quarters of it by priority. Remember, you got a to-do list too, and that's take care of your family. I love you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.